Okay, hello and welcome to today's video. Sorry if this seems a little bit rushed. I just remembered I was going to do this like literally the day before, so I'm only just putting it together right now. So this isn't a scripted video out due to that very reason, it's just me giving my honest opinions. But anyway, let's get right into it. So today I'll be giving my thoughts on the next Zelda, really, in celebration of Breath of the Wild, I guess, because it is Breath of the Wild's 2nd anniversary today. So I'll be talking about what I think they could change from Breath of the Wild into the next Zelda, and what I'd like to see in the next Zelda, really. I mean, sure, that works for celebrating Breath of the Wild's anniversary, I guess, but anyway, as I said, let's get right into things. So, first of all, I do think the dungeons need to improve. Not that they were bad in Breath of the Wild, it's just they all looked the same, put simply. I mean, like, they were all the Sheikah theme. And that led, when looking back, a lot of people at first to think they were bad. But if you look even further, they're not bad. You just don't notice how good they are because they all look the same. Like, if each one had its own unique theme and wasn't just Sheikah based, they would feel a lot better, right? I mean, like, the puzzles in some of them were half decent, even if really easy, but, like, that's because they were spread out into multiple shrines and stuff. But anyway, my point being, we need traditional dungeon themes, not just, oh, it's a Sheikah divine beast or shrine. So like some ancient temple you can find in a forest or in a volcano crater, floating city in the sky, all sorts of stuff like that, I guess. So obviously traditional dungeons, I definitely think they need to bring back. Not that the style of puzzles were bad. It's just the themes needed improving, if you ask me. So yeah, they could still have the whole puzzle box dungeons, I guess they're called. Like, I think that's what they're called, I can't remember, where it's like the dungeon itself is the puzzle. They could still have that, it's just, I think it would work better if that wasn't for all the dungeons, but only some, and if they had more dungeons, and maybe a few less shrines to accompany for that, I don't know, but yeah, dungeons do need improving. The bosses definitely need improving. For bosses, I want to see, well, actual bosses, you know, like, not just a Ganon clone that's easy to kill and doesn't really do anything unique and is just a Ganon clone, if you know what oh my god. But yeah, basically the blights, the first time I was like, oh, nice boss, eh? Next I was like, oh, it's a blight again, okay. And after that I was just like, sure, it's just a purple blob thing, let's fight it. However, comparing that, I mean, I did like that, but comparing that to looking back at other Zeldas, you never knew what the boss was going to be till you got to it. It was always unique and fun, and I think they want to bring that back again. And I do think that they know this. I mean, with the Champion's Ballad, they added Maz-Koshia, I don't know how you'd say his name. But yeah, they added him in, which is obviously drastically different to the other Blight Ganon bosses. So, I think they do know. And that DLC was them looking to add some improvement to Breath of the Wild, but they'll be adding most of it to the next Zelda. I also think that they slightly know over dungeons, considering the DLC dungeon was better than the other ones, I guess, like more elementally themed, I guess. I don't know, though. But yeah. Now, dungeons and bosses aside, one final dungeon subtopic, I guess you could call it, the dungeon items, I guess. Traditional Zelda items, although nice, I do not think need a place in the next Zelda. Wait, before you go and hate on that, however, I don't know, but I think they could sort of have a mix. So, like, the durability model with lots of different stuff, that's definitely ought to stay. I mean, the whole game relies on it, but I think they could incorporate sort of dungeon items into that, I guess. Like, here's my idea, like, say, hookshot, for example. You've got the hookshot. It works as a dungeon item normally, not in Breath of the Wild, for obvious reasons, aka just skipping the whole climbing thing. One way that they could say incorporate that could be hookshot arrows. An arrow that you shoot from a bow and it acts like the hookshot. You've only got a certain number of them, thus it works in with the whole durability thing, it still gets a unique item. They could do stuff like that for lots of different items, and have it so that you're only able to find them around the world after you've found them in the dungeon. Like, say, in a normal Zelda game, you can only find bombs after you get the bomb bag or something like that. Maybe a special quiver for the hookshot arrows. I don't know. But it could work, and it would allow for more, I guess, half traditional dungeon items. yet at the same time still keeping the whole durability system, which, although it does get some hate, I think does work. I mean, like, it encourages you to use the different stuff, and rather than sticking to one thing throughout, which would obviously be more boring overall. So yeah, aside from hookshot arrows, what else could they have? Let's see. It's Nintendo, they could easily figure it out, but yeah, I don't know, that's something I guess I'd like to see. To be honest, just hookshot arrows are what I want. That would be so epic. But anyway, the whole dungeon sort of theme stuff aside, so the items and the bosses and overall themes, let's look at some other stuff which I think they could change. Now, that gets a bit harder because, aside from the dungeons, there wasn't much that they could improve on. However, it is still one big thing that I guess they could, but at the same time not. The story. Now, a lot of people criticised it for being held back in the past by memories and you don't actually experience it. And I agree, that's a bad thing at first. However, if you look into it, well, it's actually quite an innovative solution considering that you can do a game in any order, allowing you to get fragments of the story like that and put them back together, and then having the rest of the lore and stuff hidden, left for you to figure out. I personally guess I like it, and it does work, sort of. But, like, obviously, it's still... I'd still prefer an actual story where you take part in it. It's just, it wouldn't work as easily in an open-air game like Breath of the Wild. So it makes sense for the approach they took, it's just... not everyone likes it, if you get what I mean. So, here's two approaches that I could propose. First one, which is actually quite a drastic one, being... there's different trigger events around the world which you can bump into, which are part of the story, and if you trigger said event, the rest of the world changes around it, therefore cancelling the rest of the trigger events, and only that one is left. However, that brings out new trigger events. Basically, there's tons of different routes and different end games which you can get to. That would require a lot more work, and it would add a lot more replayability and make the story better, but as I said, a lot more work. It could work if added in that approach, but then it'd take a lot of work, as I said. Emphasis on a lot of work, once again. Now, there was another approach I thought of. What was it? I can't remember now. What was it? Oh yeah, here's what it was. So, I've been playing Skyrim recently, and it's a really great game. In case you haven't played it, I'd recommend it. Although it isn't 18 over in the US, so if you're under 18, be careful. But anyway, my main point here being, in the game Skyrim, they have quests for each thing you do in it. Breath of the Wild kind of has that too. And then there's one main storyline quest with the main story, and there's lots of like side quest chains, and they could do something similar to that in the next. So the quests themselves with the chain ones are linear. However, the world itself is open world, so I guess they could have it so you've got the main quest chain in the next Zelda, you have to do it in one particular order, and the story will execute in that order. But you can go do whatever hell you want around the rest of the world, whenever you want, joining and leaving the main quest as you desire. It would still have a linear story and it'd feel good, but it'd still allow for open-airness of the game. I mean, with Breath of the Wild they were just like, no, zero linear allowed. With this it would have linearness to it, for the story, but the linearness would be encapsulated within the story, and you could go off, do whatever you want separately, and just come back whenever you like. I think that could work. It would be a lot easier than my other solution. It'd still create an enjoyable linear story that people like, and still keep the whole open-air, non-linear game, so that could work. But, story aside, story and dungeons being the two big ones, what else could they improve upon? Now, one thing that I've heard quite a few people say sometimes is item durability. I don't necessarily agree with this one. Yeah, the item durability is annoying and, like, items break, you lose them, but I feel overall it's a good thing. It gets you to try new weapons and stuff, you know. One change I would make to it, but one change only, would be that you can get sort of like blueprints, I guess you could call them, for said items when they break to recreate items or whatever. So like, say, I don't know, Wind Cleaver, you could get a blueprint for that to remake that. However, these all cost a bit, and it would be easier to just go and get some new weapons. Point being, if you really like a certain weapon and it broke and you want it again, you know, you can still get it, but it'll cost you. Or you can go and find some new weapons you've not used before, and then just use them instead. it would still highly encourage people to use new weapons and explore and gain new stuff and have fun, but it'd also leave an option open for people to still go back to old weapons they liked. I think it'd work. But yeah, now what else could there be? I'm going to think now, aren't I? Let's see. Here's one. Side quests. Now, although quite a few of the side quests in Breath of the Wild are nice, such as the Tarrytown one, there's some which just feel like, honestly, like, no. Like, mainly, I'd say, the sorts of ones where, like, you just have to find something and bring it to a person, or talk to someone and then talk to someone else. Some, you know, like, sort of tedious ones which, they're not really that fun. They don't give you any good reward, it's just like 20 rupees, and that's it. I feel side quests could really do with being interesting, each having their own unique story and having a unique item at the end. I guess I'm sort of getting this from Skyrim again here, but, like, with if there were side quests, like, some side quests, not all of them, each had their own unique item, you can only get it that way, at the end. They were challenging to a degree, but unique quests with their own story. That'd be cool. I mean, I guess I'm mainly thinking of with Skyrim this is, from the spoilers, Daedric quests, but yeah, not going into Skyrim here, that's enough of that. Well, Skyrim isn't an open world game, so I guess it's similar, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, point being, side quests that actually have meaning, and that's what I want. You know, a good reward and a good side quest, not, oh, go get me some weapons and then I'll pay you. Or, oh, go give that girl 50 grasshoppers and that'll be good. Like, what are these quests, honestly? But yeah, whatever. Some of the side quests, as I said earlier, were good, such as Tarrytown, but some of them, no. So yeah, an improvement on side quests could be good. I know one thing that a lot of people don't like are the Amiibos and how there are some items locked behind them. I think that's fine, apart from one Amiibo, which I'll get into, but apart from this one Amiibo I said, all of the items that Amiibos give you are just variations on items that you can get normally. Epona, for example? Oh yeah, you can get other horses like Epona, it's just they don't look like Epona. Or the Bow of Twilight? Oh yeah, you can get an actual Bow of Light in the game, it's just only at the end game. But then the Bow of Twilight does a lot less damage and it breaks quicker. So, there we go again, mainly aesthetic. Or what else is there? There's like the hero gear. Yeah, you get a lot of other armor, which looks the same, and doesn't require like 10,000 star fragments to upgrade, and it's still cool. I mean, like there's that hero of the wild gear, which you just need to do the shrines for. I mean, it's mostly aesthetic stuff, really. But then there's Wolflink. I mean, he's nowhere near necessary. He is a cool thing to use. I mean, I've only used him like 5 times though, to be honest, but whatever, putting that aside. You can't get anything like that in the main game, so that's going into the fact of, in the next game, if they have something like Wolflink again, there needs to be normal ways of getting it too. And on that topic, one thing I would have liked to see in Breath of the Wild that we never got was sort of like companions like Wolflink. I actually did a theory on this before the game was released, that you could be able to tame wolves in the wild or the dogs at the stables and have them be companions to you like Wolflink. If they did have that in there, 1, it wouldn't make people angry about the paywall, or at least less angry. 2, it would be darn well cool, wouldn't it? But yeah, something like that could work, I don't know, honestly. Maybe they planned it and didn't add it. Who knows? But yeah, I can't really think of anything else now. But yeah, despite all my ramblings just here, Breath of the Wild is an amazing game, and like, I wouldn't have dedicated the majority of my channel to it if it wasn't so. So, I'm not some hater or anything, I'm simply pointing out some things which could be improved for the next game to make it even better. Like, a game even better than Breath of the Wild, oh god, I can't imagine that. Like, Breath of the Wild got Game of the Year, it is such a great game. But to make a game better than it, that would just be amazing, honestly. But yeah, as I was saying, happy 2nd anniversary to Breath of the Wild. What are your thoughts? Like, what do you think Breath of the Wild could do with improving for the next Zelda? What should they keep? What did you enjoy the most about Breath of the Wild? What did you enjoy the least? Did you even play Breath of the Wild? Whatever. Just, you know, if we have a nice discussion in the comments, that could be cool, right? But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't enjoy it, leave a dislike and explain why you didn't. I'll try and improve in the next one. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.